Hi, I'm Mary and I am a Stipendium Hungaricum awardee for the period 2020, and here I will share about how my experience when I did the interview of this scholarship. So for a brief explanation, that I applied for a master's degree in environmental science, and I choose to university which are Debrecen University and Oslo University, and my bachelor degree is geography, and I'm from Indonesia. So the first part, usually introduction, and the interviewer might introduce themselves first, and then you can introduce yourself. And in this part, you can tell them about your name, age, nationality, and your background, like your previous degree and time when you graduate. Because, like, for example, I was applying for 2020 period, and then I graduate on 2018, and like, so there's like a 2 years gap that might be questioned, because like, oh, okay, then what you are doing during that gap year. And you can like try to explain, like, for me, I was working in several job. Like, I was working in ministry, in a research center, and in NGO, and I can tell the interviewer about like my experience and why then I decide to apply for a master's degree. And then in this introduction, you can also talk about your work experience and also your research, or if you have no work experience also, I think you can more emphasize it to your research or the project that you ever work on. Because I found that a lot of people also apply directly when they just graduate from the previous degree. So I don't think it will be like a big problem. Like, you can emphasize some other stuff. And yeah, even like for me, I don't have like a word or something. If you can talk about your word, like the competition, or like, but you can also talk about, like, for me, I don't really attend like competition, but I have some like scholarship before, and also like publication that I wrote with my professor. And for this part, or this introduction, try to be concise, not too long but not too short, because like this part, I think it's the part that you can really try to prepare for. And I would say it's better to try to record it and see yourself, like, how's the pronunciation, or like how's the information, is it enough, or is it too much, or. And you can also try to practice with your friend, like having like a mock interview. I think that will be really nice, because yeah, I think like this part, like introduction, is like the part that you can project, like you can guess it will always happen, and you can really prepare. So, and like this introduction could also be like the first part, and like will kind of define your confidence and along the interview section. And the next question might be like, okay, why Hungary? And then here you can do like some research, like, for example, okay, there is some Nobel Prize winner from Hungary, so I think Hungary have a good culture about research. Also, I want to like experience to study in Europe, and maybe like when I study in Europe, then I can have like more opportunity and easy networking with other like fellow researcher or something like that. And I would say like it's much better if you talk about the academic reason rather than like, you know, like personal or leisure reason, like traveling. Oh, okay, Hungary is like kind of located in the central Europe, and now I can travel anywhere. I mean, like, that's also a legit reason, and that's also my reason. But in this like interview part, I think it will be the best to talk about like more academic reason, and this also and question that you can prepare and why this university and the program, because maybe I can talk about it more into like my perspective and my experience, like why I choose this university. Like the first thing I want to do is like looking for the major that I want to learn, because yeah, I really like for my bachelor I really into learning about disaster, but like I'm pretty sure that I'm not pretty sure, like I did the research and I found out like okay, there is no like disaster based major in Hungary. So I kind of I kind of like tilt a bit my directions to environmental, because like okay, if you are not being good in an environment, then it can be like make a lot of disaster stuff. So the first thing is like for me, I think about the major, and then I do like a research like which university that have this major, and then fortunately there is some seniors in LT, like there is some Indonesians that already doing study there, and I try to contact one of them and like ask about this, and I also like search about the university rank, and for example for me, for the question why this program, because like my bachelor is kind of different with my master's degree, which my bachelor is geography and my master degree is environmental. So if you also want to do that, I will say like prepare a really rational reason for your choice. Like for example, I already like asked my seniors like okay, it's like multidiscipline major, but like how far it could go, like, and he explained that there is like his classmate who like come from like English literature, which is like so far with environmental, and like she can do that, and like okay. And then like when the professor really asked me in the interview, because I didn't have like biology, physics, and chemistry on my bachelor, so like he kind of like questioning whether I'd be able to like doing this master. And I told him like yeah, I mean like in my bachelor I didn't get it, but my high school is kind of like science class, so I have the basic of it, but still like I know that I need to work more harder than anyone who already had the more advanced of those subjects. So yeah, try to really have a rational reason for your choice. And like how's my interview experience, and important thing need to be noted, like okay, I heard that some people have like their interview for 15 minutes, but for me it's like 30 minutes. I know, like it's crazy. And like I prepare all those like question above, and but like what my professor did, like I have one interviewer. Usually they might be two, as I know, but I just have like one interviewer, and he is a professor in my major that I apply. And I think he more into like want to know like how my critical thinking, how I process information. And so like he come up with like okay, what do you know about environmental, or like what do you know about like environmental problem, and like what do you think about it, and how do you think like we can solve it or something. So it's really different. And I apply, as I mentioned before, I applied to like to university. LT is my first choice and Debrecen is my second choice, but I didn't get any interview date for the Debrecen, and I don't know why, but I heard that Debrecen is not really want to be second place on your choice. So yeah, if you put it on the second place, then it less probability you even get the interview with them. But yeah, but as I remember, I got the acceptance. I don't know like why it's happened from the that person. But yeah, and like yeah, I mean like you should really sure about your first choice, because that's more probability in your first choice. And also, like, as my experience, he also asked me about my like application, like software application experience. And as I know, for me, I don't have like entrance exam, but some of my friends have like an entrance exam. For example, my friend, she applied to BME for architecture, and she got like a mathematic and written entrance exam, which quite difficult, and she really need to prepare about it. And maybe it will be like the last question, like, okay, then why you think you deserve with this scholarship? I think this part you really need to like be confident and try to sell yourself. You can say like, oh, I'm a hard worker person, and like for me, I mean like I think like I'm diligent enough to finish this degree, and maybe I might be behind on the start because like I don't have a really basic foundation for like chemistry, physics, and etc. But I'm a quiet hard worker. And goals and plans after graduation, you can say something that try to benefit your home country or also Hungary. Maybe like you will make a research in your major, I mean like in your field about this, collaborative or something. And they also might ask about thesis, your I mean like your master thesis plan. I mean it's depend on your degree or your research plan, and you can give them a brief information about it, because I think it will be really different for a PhD for sure. I think you should be really clear, but for my experience on my major, like I cannot really generalize it, but like for me, I will just give like a general topic, like, oh, I want to research about this because I'm interested about this, and maybe like I'm not really sure about the methods, but I have like I already did some research, or maybe I can use this and that. So that, because for so far I think like there is no like a research plan document that you need to submit. So yeah, so but it will depend on the major, but it's the best that you prepare something for it, about it. Another common question that might be asked is about how is your weakness and strength. And like you can tell like your strength, like for me, I would say like I'm adaptive, because I never go abroad before this, but like I work in several places and also in the different island in my country, which is like so far than my home city. So like I will say that because like they want to know like how your adaptability to live in like a really different culture and situation than your home country. And you can also say your other strength, but also your weakness. And for weakness, try to give example how you cope with that. So the next question might be how good your English level. So for this part, you can like tell them like the certification that you have and the score, like how many points that you got on your IELTS, on your TOEFL. But also like the interview is like one of the purpose is to know about how capable you communicate and you understand English. So when you do the degree, like are you good enough or something to communicate and to understand and talk and to finish the degree. So yeah, so actually in the interviewers like want to know your English level and able to communicate, and it's really natural to be nervous in this kind of interview, but like nervous means that you care, and that's fine. But if it's too much, then it might make you like feeling blank and forget everything, which is, or like hardly to understand the question, which is like, that's so bad. And so I might think like try to like to be relaxed, and maybe like it might help for me, like think that the interviewer is kind of your friend that want to know about you, like okay, so why you want to study here, or like why you choose this university. Like don't really think them like a total stranger, but just like your friend that want to know a bit about you. Important thing need to be note, like I think you need to reread your motivational letter, because like as my experience, the professor really asked about it, like the section on the motivational letter, and then be honest but still know your worth and know how to sell yourself. And for the technical input is like have a good light and use computer, like it will be better rather than use a phone or something, because like maybe like someone might call you in the middle of interview or something. And check to have a good connection and have a backup of the good connection. Try the microphone and the speaker, and yeah, and maybe like you can have like a mock interview with your friend before, so you will feel like prepared. And like technical issue is the thing that hopefully could be really minimized. So that's all for this time, and I hope it's helped you. And yeah, I hope you are the best of luck, and see you in Hungary.